Hi, you're watching Current Issues with me, Vineet Malhotra. Mohammad Shami, pacer and talented bowler, was recently forced to face some bouncers and googlies from online trollers who took offence to the kind of dress his wife was wearing at a function. The post by Shami was met with anger and mortification on how he discredited Islam by allowing his wife to wear a sleeveless dress. For some, it comes across as a case of moral policing by those who have easy access and wily time to bring up personal matters of people into the public forum. Twitter is turning out to be a window for certain people to bring up agendas and opinions that were not trifled with otherwise. Is this freedom being misused? Are we in conformity with a narrative that is eroding the essence of a free platform and using it to counterplague our basics of there should be some mandate on what is acceptable and what is not over social media? We find out with our guests, but before this, let's have a look at some reactions.
इस तरह की कोई बात उनकी आई है, उनका अपना जाती मामला है, मगर अगर किसी तरह के इस्लामिक दृष्टि से उसको अगर हम देखते हैं और तो मुझे लगता है कि लिबास बेहतर वही है कि जो आपके शरीर को ढके, जो मतलब दूसरे के शख्स के लिए नुमाइश न बने, इसका तो ख्याल हमेशा ही रखना चाहिए, क्योंकि मर्यादा भी कोई चीज़ होती है। औरतों को ढक के वैसे रखना, औरतें उससे उनकी हिफाजत रहती है, उनकी खूबसूरती बरकरार रहती है, कोई भी चीज़ ढकी हुई खूबसूरत होती है।
मोहम्मद शमी की वाइफ को और उनको किस तरह से टारगेट किया जा रहा है, मगर सवाल ये उठता है कि ये कौन तय करेगा। ये बहुत अनफॉर्चुनेट है और हाईली कंडेमेबल है, मगर इस बात को लेकर ज्यादा जो ऑपोजिशन होना चाहिए वो मर्दों से होना चाहिए। महिलाएं तो हर बार यही बात कहेंगी कि महिलाओं को आजादी होनी चाहिए कि वो क्या पहने, क्या बोलें, कब आए कब जाएं, मगर ये बात पुरुष कब समझेंगे इस देश के, और पुरुष कब कहना शुरू करेंगे कि महिलाओं को आजादी मिलनी चाहिए।
कि ये हंगामा बिल्कुल गैर ज़रूरी है और इस तरह से किसी पे अटैक करना बिल्कुल गलत है। अब हर बात में मज़हब को घसीटना भी ठीक नहीं है। मज़हब में एक गहराई होती है, मज़हब में एक रूहानियत होती है, और इस तरह की जो बाहरी चीज़ें हैं, ड्रेस वगैरह, इसको ही जैसे कि मज़हब बना देना, ये बिल्कुल गलत है। और मज़हब ने ये कहीं नहीं कहा गया है कि आप दूसरों को बार बार टोको। मज़हब में कहीं ये नहीं कहा गया है कि दूसरों के जो स्वतंत्र होने के जो अधिकार हैं उसके ऊपर आप कहीं हमला करो, उसमें आप कहीं खलल पहुंचाओ, ये बात मज़हब में कहीं नहीं कही है।
So how does this complex dynamics of social media play out in our everyday world? Let's introduce our guests and get into this debate as soon as possible. Dileep Cherian, PR Guru, is joining us. Madhu Kishwar, social activist, is with us as well. Tasleem Ahmed Rahmani, president of the MPCI, is also with us. And Shivani Saini, model and actor, is going to be joining us as well. Thank you all for being here. Dileep, let me begin with you. The online discourse is turning out to be very, very negative on a daily basis. It's being used to spread prejudice, hatred, misinformation and lies. Well, as far as I can remember, this is not the reason why the founding fathers of social media or anything to do with it, invented it in the first place. Where do you see this going?
I think primarily the internet needs to be seen as a medium for communications to much larger numbers of people and to hear the voices of expression that come through unfiltered. Having said that, I think it is very convenient for people to put this current dilemma or argument into two convenient boxes, one of religion and totalitarianism and the other of male versus female. I don't think it's either of these. It's got to do with freedom of expression, and freedom of expression needs to be treated as something which is absolute. There are no shortcuts to understanding this. The only thing to understand is that if somebody is making a distasteful, a disrespectful, or very often a disconcerting remark, then it is the ability of the other person to respond where necessary. That's the key test to making sure that we have both morality as well as the expressions untrammeled by filters, which is what we have in the real world most of the time.
Okay, so a good point made by Dilip over there that the freedom of expression, Madhu, has to be absolute. And let's talk about women. They've had to censor themselves on social media quite a lot. Because of this constant moral policing that keeps on happening on Facebook and Twitter. And there's several instances where one can cite how people have mortified actresses for wearing what they want, for doing what they like. And yet, being the largest democracy in the world, I cannot help but notice the dichotomy of stance. I cannot help but notice, this dualism that exists in our society and is finally coming out through social media.
In fact, I actually differ with you radically on my assessment of social media. Minus social media, what we would have had is a few self-appointed spokesperson and ठेकेदार्स of Islam coming and pontificating and passing fatwas. All other voices would have been silenced. Luckily, on social media, for every one stupid voice, there are hundreds who are challenging it. You actually see it as a battleground for ideas, and where everyone can become a soldier, and an effective soldier at that. I have seen the responses to these horrible statements against Shami, but I see majority of them, including from among the Muslim community, are in his favor, are not condemning him. In fact, they are saying, good, please stand up. And we need Muslims like you who dare live a life of freedom and self-expression, are not worn down by, and who don't believe in putting their wives in burqa and hijab and niqab. I mean, those who think that is what Islam is about are actually presenting Islam as a religion of jahalat. They should go to Saudi Arabia and see what repression, state enforced repression has done to Saudi women. Under their burqas and hijabs and niqabs, you see them wear the most fashionable dresses, plunging necklines, mini skirts, the kind of fashion, provocative, sexually provocative fashion that you wouldn't even see on the streets of London, New York or Paris. That's what I saw myself in Saudi Arabia when I met women. The moment they take off their burqas, my God, your eyes pop out. Is this what Islam does? Hypocrisy, repression which is enforced through throwing acid, as in the case of Kashmir, the likes of Asia Andrabi, you remember, she would have acid thrown on the faces of women who were not wearing hijab. Now, hijab was not a native dress either of Kashmir or of Muslims in Kerala or in Malaysia or in Indonesia. It's coming through the force of the gun. And if this is what any mazhab or dharma or religion does to itself, allows criminal elements to enforce their repressive, oppressive writ
So,
through
if
the,
her speech is over,
the
will
power
you
of the
allow
gun
me to
and
speak a
bullets.
few things?
I'm sorry.
You are giving a lot of time to
Okay,
such kind
Mr.
of
Rahmani,
speeches
I was
which
to
are
come to you. I was waiting for her to
hate-mongering
finish her point.
speeches of-
You
Miss-
will also
of a
speak.
particular
Mr.
religion.
Mr. Rahmani, I was going to come to you,
I
sir.
think you are not conducting a religious
Sir-
kind of a debate over here. You are talking about the social media and its implications and the people.
But those who are speaking are
I think
speaking
today
on
at least
behalf
you are
of
not
religion.
talking about the
And
religious
it's a
hatred.
very bad...
It's nothing about.
Okay,
about
Madhu,
the
Madhu,
religion.
let me
Madhu
come
is
back
trying
to you. Let
to
Mr.
foment.
Rahmani make his
He is
point and then
spitting
we'll come
venom
back to you.
against a
Mr.
particular
Rahmani,
religion.
sir,
And we
go
must
ahead, make-
condemn this
Sure.
kind of freedom of expression where everybody is allowed to spit venom or other things. The people who are posting at the social media sites, the same is doing over here on your channel. So what is the difference? What we are discussing about?
Mr. Rahmani, how do you feel about...
Then what is the need of such kind
Mr.
of a
Rahmani,
discussion?
let me ask you a question,
If,
sir.
if the cynical people who are posting on the social media side, the same thing is doing Madhu Kishwar, the so-called ठेकेदार of the freedom of expression and liberalist kind
Okay,
of
sir,
people,
let me ask you a question,
who has
sir.
sold themselves to the souls who feel so free to abuse and give slangs to Islam and Muslims all over the world.
Mr. Rahmani, how do you see this episode that has transpired with
I
Mohammed
didn't
Shami?
say
Madhu
anything
Kishwar, I'll
about
come back
Islam.
to
I
you.
said "Thekedars
Madhu Kishwar,
of
I'll come
Islam."
back to you. Let me ask a question to Mr. Rahmani. Mr. Rahmani, how do you see this episode which has transpired with Mohammed Shami? And according to Madhu, very rightly, there are a few people who cause trouble, but yet again, there is a problem with the way people express their freedom, or probably misuse their freedom of expression on social media. Do you think there should be curbs, there should be filtration processes, and there should be penalty also for people who misuse it, regardless of the religion they're in?
Yes, I do agree, and I do condemn those people who are making such kind of personal comment against Shami or his wife or whatever he have posted. I am of the opinion, if somebody is feeling hurt, that somebody has hurted the religious sentiment of a few people or the community or whatever, or if they are so fond of preaching religion or any ideology or whatever, they must have go to Mr. Shami. They should take pain to discuss and try to convince him in whatever way. But for a personal life, for an individual life, they come to a social forum in the public arena and then abuse somebody. That cannot be acceptable, and that must have to be curbed. There are laws even for the social media misuse, that those laws can be used, and this is up to Mr. Shami, who can go to a police station, lodge an FIR against such kind of people and drag them to the courts. And it is well under the purview of his rights, and he should use those kind of rights. I think those people should be punished, and this system, even you see me, I got so many abuses every day. Some on the national screen on the channel, some on my
Absolutely.
Twitter account, some on my Facebook. I
Right.
keep, any time I can go to the police station and find an FIR to those. There are
Absolutely.
already standing laws for them.
The legal
Those-
options are
those
always
must be,
open for
practiced.
anyone who feels threatened or objectified or
Of course it
vilified
is open.
on social media. Shivani Saini, model and an actor. Shivani, actors and celebrities usually, get objectified, insulted and degraded, for posting their opinions on social media. But yet we are, to come across, some celebrity who has made a precedent out of these episodes, who's actually gone to the courts, who's actually taken this not on a lighter vein, and prosecuted all these people who have made Twitter and Facebook a very unhealthy and a very aggressive place for celebrities to express themselves, no matter what the situation may be.
Yes, I agree, and I feel social media is a very important tool these days, and we should use it in a positive way. Like if we are doing a film, we should promote a film, we should promote ourselves, the actors. But these days, people are using it more negatively, and it's of course it's a personal life of an actor. He or she can wear whatever he wants, and they can say whatever they want to. It's a basic right, and people have no right to say like abuses and the negative comments and all such things. So yeah, I agree, this is not going right. I think we need to change the mentality of people. And of course I agree with the person just spoke, that if you have a problem, like, it should not be public, it should not go on the social media. So yeah, that's the thing.
Okay, Dilip, coming back to you, the anonymity of the web, can at times lull the users, into writing and doing and saying what they want. I've seen Shah Rukh Khan, who's most of the time, supposed to be a very composed man, does not usually react. Even I've seen him getting very reactive. I've seen, one of our fellow colleagues, Rajdeep Sardesai, getting very reactive on Twitter and actually, giving into the flow of the abuses and the vindication that they have suffered on Twitter. Do you think the restraint exercised by celebrity should also, be an area they should work on? Probably not respond and add fuel to the fire?
Vineet, my take on this is slightly different. I think what Ms. Saini said and what Mr. Ahmed said, that, we should allow people to sort this out directly between people and not go to a social media. My thinking is exactly the opposite. By having social media to air their ridiculous, reactionary or extreme views, you're actually allowing people to, like in a pressure cooker, blow their steam in a reasonably harmless environment. I agree that it would be, in the best of all worlds, it would be lovely, as Madhu Kishwar said, to have a learned dialogue and discourse on, on how religions take these freedoms, etc. But we must understand that a lot of people on social media are actually not exactly interested, or even most of them are not even capable of understanding the nuances of, of what is appropriate, what is excessive, what is flaunting, and what is morally right. So they go to the lowest common denominator, and that is a factor of social media. We have to live with that, and that is also a reason why social media allows the expression of extreme viewpoints, and in a reasonably non-invasive fashion. You can, today Twitter and many other media allow you the freedom to screen what you see. So you don't have to be bothered by what a certain kind of person says, and you can just live in a cocoon world where you listen to what people are, what people who you want to hear from are talking.
Absolutely. And, Madhu, coming back to you, what about Facebook and Twitter?
If you want to live in a cocoon, then you should not be on social media. Then social media is not the place for you if you want to live in cocoon. That's what I want to add.
Okay, all right. Point taken, Shivani. Madhu, coming back to you.
I agree with you,
Facebook and
good
Twitter,
point.
what about their responsibilities? Have they absolved themselves of all responsibility? It's an area, it's a gray area for a lot of users. As long as you are verified on Twitter, you cannot be tracked down. You don't have any credential present. Unverified accounts are the ones who cause the most havoc on Twitter. Do you think these platforms also need to increase their binding with legal agencies and work on probably a formula to curb these negative elements and actually discourage trolling, which is turning out to be such a menace lately?
Firstly, Twitter and social media, they have their own politics. For example, I have a huge following, and Twitter refuses to verify my account despite repeated requests. It's been hacked twice, thrice. It's been tampered with so many times. I made repeated requests and they refused to verify it. Whereas much smaller accounts, much less known accounts, have been verified without any trouble. So there is a whole lot of mischievous politics going behind the forces that own Twitter. Coming to the other point, I was actually more perturbed by what Mr. Rahmani suggested, which is those who have trouble with what Shani did, with the way his wife dressed, should actually go to his house and persuade him or put pressure on him not to let this happen, not to let his wife dress in a certain manner. Now that is very intimidating. I much prefer people expressing themselves on Twitter, no matter how, or Facebook, no matter how crazy, because words cannot be as lethal as a mob come to your house telling you you cannot dress your wife in a certain manner or you cannot do X things, because we, as the self-appointed owners of our religious faith, are telling you this is wrong. When, for example, I think the good thing about social media is, for every one lunatic comment you get, I get a lot of trolling, but for every one hate troll, I get 10 good, sensible people rise in defense. So you actually can judge which way people are thinking, and there is actual combat taking place of ideas. You have the ability to defeat them by logic, by reason, there are plenty of people who talk a lot of sense on social media. And the fact that response can be immediate, that stupid lies or misinformation can be corrected instantly, to my mind is a huge corrective. In a newspaper, if you print something, or on a TV program, misinformation is provided, let's say misleading information, there's no mechanism an ordinary citizen has of saying this was misleading, this is doing harm. But on social media, I can at once take on even the mightiest person, be it the Prime Minister of India or the President of America, any misinformation, I can take them on one. I am equal there and mobilize support for good information, for good causes, and for combating hate speech or oppressive, repressive ideas. To my mind, social media, for me particularly, I feel has come a very liberating force.
Okay, so
And I'm
what in a
willing to
sense,
take any
Madhu, you're
amount of
saying is
abuse,
that
which I
social
do,
media
simply
is-
because I also get a lot of
is
support.
a level playing field. Is that what you're saying? Is it a level playing field?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And instant correction is possible.
Okay, instant correction is possible, and it's non-linear. You can react to whatever is going on online. And Mr. Rahmani, coming back to you, there was another case where Saif Ali Khan and Kareena Kapoor Khan, they named their son Taimur. And that gained a lot of traction on social media. A lot of people ridiculed Saif Ali Khan and Kareena Kapoor Khan for naming their son Taimur. But at the end of the day, sir, it's somebody's personal choice what they want to name their son. It's their prerogative. Do you think, sir, social media also presents us with, a new challenge, a new dimension, which probably at this stage we are not ready for?
You see, I have only one point of disagreement with Mr. Dilip. Freedom of expression, if it becomes absolute, then what about my individual emotions? This kind of freedom of expression, it should have some limitations. If this is crossing all the limits and it becomes absolute and it hurts my sentiments, then I think there should be some curve that at least it should not disarm me, it should not hurt me. If somebody is abusing my mother on my Twitter account, and my sisters on my Twitter account, it can hurt me. It cannot hurt to somebody else, but it can hurt me myself. This is my emotion. Somebody can ignore it. Maybe I cannot ignore it. And this is happening every day to so many celebrities. Celebrities are getting more. The small people like me, I am getting a daily basis such kind of. So there should be some calm, some curb, there should be some punishment, there must be some criteria that the freedom of expression, just merely saying this beautiful word, the freedom of expression, should not give anybody a visa or permit to abuse anybody at the social media, at the public forum, and hurting anybody's sentiment and emotion. I think when we talk about the respecting of the freedom of expression right, we must also respect and honor the individual dignity of a person.
Right.
And my family life and my right as an individual and my emotions, that where will they go? Would you not talk about them? Would you not consider them? And what law is there which disallow considering my sentiments and my emotions,
Absolutely.
be it family or by religious thought or by belief or whatever it is? So
Okay.
that must also be respected equally.
Okay,
May it be
let's
Kareena
let's
Kapoor
go to
or
let's go to
Saif Ali
Shivani,
Khan
and
or
then we'll go back to
Shani
Madhu
or
Kishwar
me
and
or
conclude the show with
Madhu
Dilip.
Kishwar.
And Shivani, coming back to you, what Mr. Rahmani has said, that freedom of expression cannot be absolute, but at the same time, any kind of a freedom has to come with some sort of a restraint. It has to come with some sort of a responsibility. But somehow social media, despite all the major boons that it provides, there is a way to circumvent them. There is a way to actually get across them and cause harm, be it through lies, through slander, or through defamation, or recreation, or whatever the motive may be. And actors especially are prone to this. How can they save themselves from all this harm? Because some of the actors who have actually engaged in a lot of Twitter war have caused endless damage to their reputation as well as their self-esteem.
Yeah, again, as I said, everyone has right to say whatever they want to say. So in social media, like I am wearing something today, and few followers of my followers will like it. They'll comment, good, nice, beautiful. Some will not like it, but it's okay. I accept that also, that people are not liking me in this costume, in this dress, but it should be in a nice manner, the language. It shouldn't be abusive. I will take it like, okay, my viewers like me in this thing, in Indians, okay, I'll wear Indians more. But again, it's freedom of expression. Everybody can express, but it should be in a nice manner, a nice language. It should not hurt the sentiments of people.
All right, that's exactly
As
what
you
I was
said,
trying to say, and that's exactly the crux of my point. Madhu, I saw your hand go up. We have a paucity of time. You get about half a minute to express yourself, and then we go to Dilip Cherian to conclude the show.
Yeah, so as you said, it
freedom
doesn't
of
give license to
expression
people
through
to
words
abuse or
is
say
not-
anything.
Okay, Madhu, go on. Madhu, go on.
Okay, I'm saying verbal abuse or criticism, harsh criticism on social media cannot kill anybody. You can even ignore it. But those who impose their ideas through the power of the bullet, they will come and kill you. They will have a fatwa against your head. They will harm you. They will throw acid on you if you wear certain kind of clothes. To me, that needs to be curbed. How dare anybody suggest that Shami's freedom of expression or his wife's freedom of expression should be curbed by a group of people going to their house and trying to tell them, please don't dress in this manner. That is her freedom of expression.
Right.
And I'm saying verbal freedom of expression cannot be as lethal as those who impose their ideas on others through violence, through hoodlum, gunda, violent actions. That needs
No,
to
we
be
are not-
curbed with a very strong hand.
Where you are
I
trying
think
to-
that is
we
the
are-
biggest
Well, I was
challenge.
supposed to get a
you
comment
are
from Mr.
trying
Dilip
to
Cherian,
drag
but
this debate.
unfortunately we have run
We
out
are
of
not-
time. Mr.
we are
Hemani,
not
Shivani,
talking about the fatwa
Madhu
or
Kishwar,
the guns or imposing
and
an
Dilip
idea
Cherian.
through the guns, etc.
We
Where
have
you
to
are-
end
you
the
are
show
taking
now.
this debate.
Mr. Hemani, sorry to interject. We have to end the show now, but that is all we have on current issues. We'll be back tomorrow, same place, same time, with another issue. Thank you.